Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mental Health Checkup stream. This is episode 4. Joining me over here is MikeyMcB. We've been gone for 2 weeks. First off, I want to say whoever just gifted 10 subs to the channel, thank you very much. I appreciate that. We got some good people in there. We got Bo Dangles, Barris. We got Blind Ref got one. We got Bish, Team Run, Cobra. There we go. Thank you very much for whoever did that. It's very much appreciated. To get started tonight, again, this is mental health streams. We're going to keep it to an hour. Appreciate all you guys coming in. I see Bender, Cobra, Trevor, Blind Ref. We got Jason here. I'll start off by saying my disclaimer I say before every stream. We are not professionals. We're just chatting as two dudes talking about mental health. It's not we cannot give advice on what you should do. We can just talk about it and give you suggestions. And then you go however you feel. If you feel like you are in need of trouble, please call someone who is professionally trained to help somebody with that. We are not somebody who can help you in that regard. This is more of a podcast type show. So we won't be answering a ton of questions during our segments, but there will be a section at the end where we will answer people and share your stories if you want to share. If you'd like to share, you may share on our chat right here. We can also have you message us in the Discord or message me personally. I'll keep your name out of it. And if you want to keep your name out of it, that's great. J Master, thank you for the gifted sub to Dreams as well. Thank you, buddy. So as you guys know, I have been gone for 2 weeks. I've been on vacation. I'll give you guys kind of an update with that. We went to the Outer Banks, had a good time with my wife's family. And yeah, it was a good time. There's one big house. I think there's 4 or 5 families in there. It's a little hard for me because I'm not really a beach person. Because as you guys can see, I'm obviously pretty white, and sitting out on the beach all day does not treat me very well. So there was a lot of inside time, but I mean, they're not very white, and they go out and tan like crazy. So
farmer sands.
Yeah, so I'm an indoor person, so the air conditioning, fantastic. But so it was a little lonely at points because they would go out and do stuff, and then I just stay back and watch Sydney. Not that I didn't enjoy that time with her, but she did get an ear infection while we were down there. So she didn't get to go out into the water as much as she would have towards the end of the week. Yeah. So, this week or first off, Mikey, what have you done the last 2 weeks?
Oh, the last 2 weeks. I feel like, maybe 2 weeks ago, felt like work was getting a little bit better. We weren't really picking up too many new projects or anything. The summer's coming to an end, and that's kind of when, for the most part, my work kind of slows down a little bit. But for the last week, I have been nonstop, just kind of trying to get as much work done as possible, trying to wrap up a few projects, things like that. And, it causes burnout a little bit. So hopefully this will be kind of the last week here where things will slow down a little bit. But for the most part, yeah, it's just been a really, really busy 2 weeks for me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, guys. So yeah, he is Canadian. If you couldn't tell by the A, yeah.
Yes.
So this week's topic is going to be a little centered. What's up, Frank? Around Twitch streamers and the mental health side effects, both positive and negative, that you can experience. Because a lot of people have come to me and said, "Hey, I want to start streaming. What do I need to do? Tell me some stuff about it." And the one thing no one ever tells you is the mental health aspects of streaming, and they're real because I've experienced both positive and negative through my 4 or 5 years I've been doing this, whatever it is. I know Mikey has too. I know a lot of bigger streamers that have gone through some pretty tough spots, even being successful with viewers. That and some of them are even partners, and they just kind of disappear for a while because it it happens. So we're gonna start with the negative stuff because there's a lot of pretty obvious ones, and the first one we'll start out with is one that right now everyone's kind of fighting with on Twitch as a group is follow bots and these hate raids, and what it can do to you mentally, especially if it affects you personally, like where they actually attack your stream. If you guys don't know what's going on, there's somebody out there following everyone's account on these bot accounts that pulls your IP address. So if you do not ever click on these names to go see who it is, because if you go to their stream, they're live and they're pulling your IP address and putting them up on the screens for everyone to see. So that is something that can really damage you in one way, right? They're not cool. So if you get affected by that, it sucks. It can cause a lot of anxiety because now all of a sudden you're seeing your name and your IP address up for everyone to see, which kind of freak you out. But the biggest thing that they're doing with these bots is a thing called hate raids. And if none of you guys, I didn't really know what it was for a while until I looked it up. It's where these bots go into someone's stream of color or known LGBTQ community members, and they post pretty vulgar stuff, and it's just a bunch of bots, and you can't stop it. So it pretty much forces them to shut down. Dreams' wife follows me 7 minutes ago. Thank you, Dreams' wife.
Is that an actual account, Dreams, or?
All right, guys. Yeah, another thing negatively that can affect you is internet and how crappy it could be.
Yeah, anxiety, right? And I was just kind of talking about this while we were chopping around there, and I mean, most anxiety with streaming really does come with kind of technical difficulties of it, like when you're in between or trying to play a new game, for example. I just had this last week, and that new game is just like roasting my computer power, and I need to figure out how to fix it, but I'm live and I want to kind of stream. It can burn you out a little bit in a sense, and there's a lot of things in streaming that can burn you out, but this, technical difficulties, it's definitely one of them.
Yeah, the big thing with me with technical difficulties is every time Windows has an update or Elgato has an update, my audio settings change.
Yeah.
Tabernacle, we will talk about your stuff after our segments of streamers. So hold on to that, and we will you'll be the first one we talk to. Okay, bud, because I know you've been through some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So welcome back, everyone. Sorry about that. We had again some technical issues with the internet, and it's fantastic, but I think we're good now. I was getting packet loss like crazy. But yeah, so we were talking about hate raids. I don't know what you guys heard with that. Hopefully you got a little, I don't know where it cut out, but it's very unfortunate it's happening. It and it's been, when you get hit with that, especially someone who is being singled out with it, with the hate raids, like that can really affect them. Like, as somebody who's been building up their stream for years, and essentially these people are forcing them to turn it off, and sometimes these streams are where they go to vent or get away from their everyday problems, and now that's becoming their biggest problem. Like, that can really mess someone up, and hopefully it stops soon, but I haven't seen anything from Twitch that really makes me think it will. So I know Mikey was going to say some stuff before we got cut out there, so we'll see if he remembers.
Well, short and sweet, right? I mean, with obviously all the hate raids, one, it's embarrassing that Twitch can't solve that as quicker. It's really frustrating as a streamer to have to constantly be looking through your chat, basically banning everybody with the name Haas in your chat, and like you get a new follower, and that's almost like something that you're like, oh crap, like cool, I got a new follower, who is it? And then you see it's that Haas bot, and it's like, okay, like now I know. You gotta ban that guy, and he's got like 19 different accounts, and it's frustrating. It's short and sweet, but it's frustrating. It needs to be dealt with as soon as possible because you're right. It can go in there and it can cause a lot of problems, and it can make people feel really bad about themselves when they get targeted. So it would be very nice if Twitch obviously could solve that sooner rather than later.
Yeah, the big thing, like it was what, 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago, they followed me with 20 accounts like right off the bat. It's
Yeah,
always when you start a stream, there's always something there.
yeah.
And
I wouldn't be surprised if there's one in here right now.
right, and I don't have my stream elements up, so it's probably or my stream label, so it probably happened, and I just haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so another negative thing, which I was actually gonna bring up before my internet cut out, is technical difficulties. A lot of people aren't technically advanced when it comes to streaming, and I know I was not, or I was one of them when I first started. I was totally clueless. I spent hours and hours and hours watching YouTube videos of how to do stuff. If I found something I wanted, I would take the time, watch videos, and figure it out. And I would
Yeah.
get extremely frustrated if I couldn't figure it out because either the video is from like 2015 and it's an old version and the versions doesn't look the same. That happens a lot. Um, and my biggest thing that I always have trouble with is audio. I mean, and some of you guys from yesterday watched it firsthand. I turned on my stream and there was no audio of my PlayStation 5, and I had no idea why. It was just gone, and I spent about 15 minutes trying to figure it out. So, with that said, Mikey, have you had any instances where technical difficulties outside of the New World stream that you were just talking about, going through the years of your streaming that have made you just want to stop?
Yeah, absolutely. You pick up. It's funny. I mean, there's almost every single stream something that tends to go wrong with the stream. And it definitely it links back to burnout. You're going back to that kind of argument of you're spending all of this money on streaming equipment to try to bring the best content you can to your viewers and your friends, because that's the whole point of streaming, and we'll get to that later in the positive aspects of streaming. um, but basically, yeah, you're constantly working with these technical difficulties after spending so much money to put a stream on. And I'll tell you, for the most of the time, most streamers are actually probably operating at a loss to stream, and they do it more so just to have a good time, play games with their friends, and make new friends. That's why I do it, anyways. And when it comes to technical difficulties and you're trying to I'm going to plan a stream and I'm going to do this with my friends that day, and it doesn't work out, it definitely bums you out. It makes you feel like, why am I doing this? Like why do I feel like it's not as rewarding to buy this extra camera in order to play these games when it stops working? Or why did I buy two of these microphones to make it work, and then the audio stops working? It's frustrating. It absolutely is, and it does lead to burnout. It leads to anxiety, and you'll notice there's a lot of things like that really lead to those two things. And you just got to power through them. You got to push through it. It's hard sometimes, but it's definitely it's like anything. It's something that you got to just work on.
Yeah, I actually, before my kid was born, um, I was doing fairly well. I think we're getting pretty close to the numbers where we were at before the last 2 weeks, which again, guys, I very much appreciate. Um, but before my kid was born, um, things were running pretty smooth, and just out of nowhere, I had an issue I couldn't figure out, and it actually made me quit earlier than I was going to when my kid was born. I didn't tell many people that, but I stopped streaming probably a couple weeks ahead of time because there was an issue with my video and my audio that I just couldn't figure out. And then when I came back, it just randomly worked. So I don't know how it fixed itself, but sometimes you just got to touch it the right way and it turns on. I don't. The big thing with well, actually, Mikey knows this too. It was like 3 months ago, 4 months ago, my Elgato just stopped working,
Yeah.
and it just would not turn on. And then after about a week, it it just when I turned my computer on, it like got enough juice or something, came back from vacation and said I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And there's no rhyme or reason. I didn't do anything. I just saw that it lit up, which I usually don't notice, but for some reason I looked at it and it wasn't red anymore. So it's very weird how that happens. I was actually going to be buying a new one at the time, because I thought that was the issue, and then all of a sudden it was back. So I can't. Yeah, welcome to IT, says Jace. That's pretty much
Yeah.
what it is. I'm not an IT guy. When I signed up for streaming, I did not sign up for IT work, being an audio engineer, being a video editor, but that's what it is, right? And a
And
lot of
that's what
people
you
don't
have
tell
to
you
do.
that. You know, it's not just coming on, playing video games in front of your friends and getting a bunch of viewers and making a ton of money. It's definitely not.
This is kind of the part that I want to touch on here is that's what we hype it up to be. We hype it up to be, we're gonna go out and we're going to buy all of these things to make our stream better. We're going to obviously, work on graphics to make our stream better. We're going to, and we do that all because we're in our own minds saying to ourselves, we need this. We need this in order for people to come watch us. And that's where I kind of want to flip the switch and say why. Like if you're streaming out there and you're just playing with, the cheapest camera you can and you're using the cheapest capture card you can or streaming off the PlayStation and you're still making friends and having a low view count, that's where you have to just be like, hey, I'm having fun and it's worth it. Like you can't let the numbers affect you. You can't be always thriving for those types of incentives because I'll be honest with you, there's always another level and they don't always come. So, and it takes a long time, right? Like, and then you burn yourself out and you feel bad about it. And that's not what streaming's about.
Yeah, when I first started, um, my friends Malkin, Dallas, and Dizzy pushed me to stream. I always told myself, why would somebody watch at the time a 33-year-old dude playing NHL who's not the top tier player play this game? I'm just a guy playing games, and it turned out I grew very quickly. I was very fortunate. I started streaming at a very unique time where there wasn't a lot of big streamers, and I just got very lucky because I was a part of a group that really helped me. Um, it's not like that for everyone. Last night I went on the NHL view count page, and there was probably 20 people had one viewer, and most likely it was them pulling up their stream on another, like on their phone or a laptop or something.
Yeah.
Um, I was also very fortunate to have people to come into my stream and give me numbers while they were playing with me. Um, and again, not everyone has that because sometimes they're just playing hut or they're playing drop-ins. Um, you can't use Twitch in a way to going in thinking you're just going to be successful. There's a lot of people who fail at it. I can't tell you how many people who come in, ask me what to buy, they buy it, and a month later they try to sell it. And if you look at the Facebook Marketplace, there's so many Elgatos for sale because people give up on it very, very quick because they realize it's not for them. Um, what you should do when you're streaming is knowing you're going to be online, just turn it on, play your
Mhm.
games, and if it happens, it happens. Be
And
yourself.
ignore the view count.
Right. I mean, if
Yeah.
people come in and talk to you, talk to them, right? Don't ignore them. Don't get all bossy with them. Make them feel included in the chat. There's times where um, I'll go into someone's stream and they're talking like there's 100 people in there, and that's fantastic. I can't do that half the time. Sometimes you guys come
Oh,
in here and I'm just like dead quiet because the chat's been dead for about 20 minutes and it's midnight and I'm getting tired, right? But I go in like Regiment is one of the ones that fantastic at it. I'll be in there for 10 minutes just lurking, and not one person said a word, and he's been commenting the whole time. And that's high aspirations for that guy for being able to do that. Takes a special person to be able to create content like that. Um, but again, you have to try to figure out how to keep someone's attention for 30 seconds, even if that, right? So if somebody stops in, a unique viewer that's new to the channel, how do you get them to interact with you or follow you before they even leave? So you have to like think of those things. Those are things that you don't think about when you're streaming, or when you're starting to stream. You're like, oh, I'll just play my game, and people will just come and watch me. But people don't want to watch just the game; they want to watch you. You know, um, yeah. So for people who ask for advice, there's a lot of other things to think about. One is, can he talk in front of a camera? Um, there's a lot of people who get in front of a camera, they freeze up, they don't know what to say. They're just awkward in front of it, which is fine, but maybe it's just not for them. Streaming is not for everyone. A lot of people who are great at games who can't stream in front of people, and that's just it. Um, there are a lot of people who get anxiety in front of it. There's people who have come to me privately and what's up their easy dangles. They come up to me privately and said, I have anxiety just typing in the chat. Like, I support you, I'm going to lurk, but I just get anxiety just for that. I understand it because I used to get anxiety talking in front of people and in school, and I had anxiety for other things. But, if that's, I appreciate support like that, and I'm sure other people do too, but you have to be able to talk in front of people. If I would have thought myself in high school doing this, I would have said, hell no. Me
yeah,
talking in front of a bunch of people I don't know. Hell no.
yeah.
But now that I'm older, I care a lot less about what people think of how I act. Because before I was very self-conscious of, oh, I stutter in front of. I used to have a bigger stuttering problem, so didn't help. But yeah, as far as streaming goes, guys, it's not easy. It's not easy. Do you have another topic of negative that you'd like to talk about there, Mikey?
I mean, like I said, it all ties into kind of burning out, and when you feel obviously that you're not getting kind of the rewards sometimes when you're obviously too invested with your viewer counts and things like that. It definitely can get to you. It could kind of get you down, especially, and make you feel like you don't want to stream that week. And that's where really the only advice that I have to give is just like, if you're interested in streaming to make friends, and you're interested in streaming because, hey, like, I want to go watch those clips later and things like that, then don't get caught up with the view counts. Don't get caught up with the subscribers and everything like that. Now, if you're trying to become a full-time streamer, you obviously have to take those things into account, and you have to obviously try to use those skills the best that you can. And if you get anxious about that, there's many ways of dealing with that anxiety. I mean, here, even talking about it is just a massive help, right? Um, and it comes down to, I guess, an example I can throw out of, if you're interested in becoming a streamer and you're too nervous because you don't think you're going to be good enough. It's a classic thing of imposter syndrome. That's something that a lot of people face in almost every single industry. And my girlfriend, for example, Kelsey, a lot of you guys know her if you watch my stream. She comes in randomly and we hang out and stuff. And she's a very personable person. She is able to, carry conversations and things like that. She's really impressive when it comes to that. But she doesn't believe she is. And when it comes to streaming, she's been looking to start for a really long time now. We've been talking about, hey, maybe using my setup and things like that, and she can stream when I'm not streaming and things like that. And that's something that she would maybe enjoy because she loves video games. She's always loved them. And the two big things that she runs into is, A, she doesn't think that she's good enough at the games to stream. And I just want to say to you right now, if you're not good enough at the games, well, one, what is good enough? And two, like, it doesn't matter if you're good enough at a certain game. It matters if you're enjoying playing it. And people are going to watch you and they're going to see that you're having fun playing it. And that's the most important thing. B, she feels she wouldn't obviously be social enough to talk to people. Obviously, that's a big thing, like Crofter was just touching on. So, like those are things that, you would never really know until you do it. And I'm just saying that the risks are 100% worth the reward, because I've made some incredible friends just with, my small stream that I do every single day during the week. Sometimes I don't get to stream because I'm a little burnt out, but it comes in with things like, I've met Dreams, I've met Jace, I've met so many of you really through my stream, and obviously Crofter, but Crofter was more through LG than streaming, who's been there to help me and things like that, which, it's just such a reward to be able to go on and know that like you'll have a select few people come in and talk with you, and like I promise you, Dreams, we're gonna go grab a beer, man. Like the friendship that we've kind of built as he lives in a close area to me, it's 100% worth that reward. So if you're thinking about streaming and you're interested in it and you just don't feel like you have the skill, give it a go. But start small, and don't let the viewership affect you. Don't let the subscribers affect you. And if you feel like you're burning out, maybe make like a lighter schedule, things like that, and work on it from there.
Yeah, sorry. First off, Monty, thank you very much for the big raid. 22 people, I appreciate it. Thank you for trusting them in this channel. For those of you who are coming in, we are talking about mental health, and we do this once a week, every Sunday at 9:30. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Hopefully, you guys enjoy yourselves here. This week's topic is streaming, and what it means as far as your mental health, with positive and negatives. Right now, we're hitting up some negatives so that maybe people don't think about, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Big thing, last thing I'll say with a view count, as far as personal things that I've dealt with, I have actually fallen victim of watching numbers too much. When I left, or before my kid was born, I was doing pretty well as far as views. I left and came back, and I had people who remembered me, and came back and said hi, but they weren't staying. And then there was a good 2 or 3 weeks where I was streaming with like 2 people on my channel. And I'll be honest, it affected me. I was used to 15 to 20. And it was a reality check to make me remember that coming into a stream or going into streaming, it's not given to you, right? So don't fall victim to that, because again, you could be successful with small numbers. Small numbers might be small to you, or other people, or sorry, they might be small to other people, but to you, 5 people is actually pretty good. I was reading something on Twitch, or not Twitch, on an article, and it said if you have 10 viewer average in your channel, you're in the top 10% of all Twitch streams.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually insane to think about. And I was like, how is that so? And if you just look at the NHL directory, I'll look it up right now just because I'm interested in that. Like I said, there was 20 people last night that had 1 viewer. So if you have 5 people in your channel, that's kind of that's kind of a big deal. Like right now, I scroll down just a little bit, and there's 4 viewers, 3 viewers, 3 viewers, and it keeps going, and it's 1 viewer, 1 viewer. There's probably 50 people on that have 1 viewer, right? So like if you have 5 people in your channel, don't beat yourself up, guys. It's not that, it's a negative playing games that are popular versus games you want to play.
That's a big one. Yeah, that's a big one. I mean, absolutely. Crofter, how many times have you and I both fallen victim to not wanting to play a specific game because we knew if we streamed NHL, we would just get more viewers and more people around. And it's not that that's bad. We do want those viewers and we want those people around, and we want to hang out with you guys because, like I said, we're trying to more so build friendships through streaming.
Right.
But like, yeah, like there's games all the time that I'm like, I want to play this game, but I'm not going to do it because people don't want to
We've
watch
had
that.
conversations and just it's like, hey, what do you want to play? And we talk about it, and we've actually brought that up. It's like, do we want to do that to ourselves after we just built up a community
Hmm.
of? Because with us, we're in a dangerous place, right? Like we have a small community that will actually come, but some of them are there for NHL. Some of them are there for us. But are they going to stay
Yeah.
interested in the new game? Um, and I told Mikey, I no longer stream games just to get viewers. Now, granted, right now I have been playing a lot of NHL because right now we're at a downtime, and yes, NHL has pushed up my numbers. But New World is coming out. I'm gonna play it. I'm sorry if that's not what you're into. Hopefully, you're into the stream for me. But New World is gonna be a big thing in the stream soon.
Yeah.
We're still gonna be playing NHL. I'm gonna make a schedule so you guys know exactly when it's gonna be played. But I can't stream NHL 7 days a week. Like that's why we do retro Thursdays now. Change it up a little bit. Um, it's one of those things like you have to stream for you. You cannot stream for numbers
Yeah.
because if you will, like you will get burnt out so fast that you won't want to do it anymore. And then at that point, it's not fun, and your stream ends. So
Yeah, and we're we're esports players for NHL, right? Like we play for the Ducks and Homeland Esports, and like we do that because we love NHL. Like we absolutely, it's my favorite game by far. I don't enjoy any other game as much as I enjoy NHL, which is crazy because NHL is usually just so bad sometimes. But it's my favorite game. It's my favorite sport. But that doesn't mean that over the last 3 to 4 weeks there, oh man, it's nearly impossible to pick up an NHL 21 controller or play NHL 21 because it burns you out just playing the same game over and over and over again. And that's stuff that obviously you have to take into account when you're streaming. Like the other day I was streaming Astro's Playroom or Astro's Playhouse, and I'm like, nobody new is gonna probably hop on board for that, but I just didn't want to play NHL. I wasn't really in the mood. And it's important to do that because it makes you willing to kind of come back the next day, and it also lets you decompress from your work day. And that's kind of nice.
yeah. All right. I think we hit enough negatives. Let's move on to
I
some
do love that.
positives. I'll start off by saying a lot of positive, or the first positive thing for me is if you're lucky enough, you can build a community of people that come and enter your chat and honestly make you feel special. Um, it's happened in here many times where people have been incredibly generous in supporting me, either through bringing in raids like Monty just did, or just or doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right on cue.
Yeah.
And the number. I mean, I know a lot of people can't afford gifting subs or donating, and that's not what it's all about. I appreciate it very much, but just you guys being here means the world to me, and it means the world to any streamer. Even if it's just lurking. Lurking is like the backbone of Twitch streaming, because
Yeah.
how many tabs do I have open on a normal night? Um, I have Terry, I have JD, I have Spud streaming. I have Dreams pulled up from time to time. If I'm on early enough, I have Mikey pulled up. Just that right
Yeah.
there puts in
It's
a
true,
view
bro.
count, and it helps that person, and they can see that I'm in the chat. So, I mean, when you guys do that to someone like me, it makes me feel nice because you guys are at least thinking about me. And I know Mikey's probably, I'm sure he feels the same, and any other streamer, um, especially with people with low numbers. So, Mikey, you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I quickly, obviously, agree with you. There's a very small feeling that you get inside when obviously people, give you follows and views and subs. And we were just talking about, not getting caught up in them, but it's definitely a reward. It's one of the big positives of streaming is when those do come. Like for example, I mean, Jace, I know you're watching. literally have just like changed my whole streaming career, you know, like in the sense of like just coming in and whenever you like gifted subs or always being there, dreams, for example, you're always in there basically every single night. It's special, man. You don't get that feeling very often, and it's definitely like one of the tops of streaming is getting those rewards. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, my biggest positive, and it's beyond the subs and beyond the views and beyond everything, is the friendships, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not even trying to like play it off as like, you know, like I don't care about subs and views and stuff because every streamer does. Okay, like they do. Um, but the friendships that you build when you're streaming, especially as a small streamer, I feel like when you're a smaller streamer, you actually connect more with your
Mm-hmm.
viewers than you do when you're a bigger streamer because it's harder to talk to 30 people in your chat than it is to talk to five. And those five people that come back every single time, it makes me feel, at least when I'm working, and I guess this could become a negative. When I'm working, I'm kind of like, man, I want to stream because I want to talk to these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then at the same time, when I have those technical difficulties, when I feel like, like I'm kind of burnt out and I can't give them a good quality stream, it makes me feel bad, you know. And like that's one of those things where I'm talking about mental health, where it could flip, it could go either way really really easily. But there's absolutely the risk is definitely worth the reward with streaming. It's something that I can't even really explain, is obviously just making new friendships. And look at everybody here today, right? Like, so you have Spud, you have I know Tabernac, you have Lime, you have everybody, like everybody in this chat right now. You know, it's people that we play NHL with, it's people that we hang out with, it's people that we've met through streams, and that's a community that you can't pass up.
All right, I'm looking just at the chat list now,
Yeah.
and I will say outside of Mondi, Easy Dangles. Let's see here. I'm just scrolling up a little bit more, and you, Mikey, and King Lime. Hey, what's up, Lime? I don't know any of you without my stream, and and I'm not
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that I have not appreciated that. I'm just saying I didn't get introduced to you outside of the stream. So just think of like the friendships that we've built over however long you've been here. Some of you guys have been here longer than others, but hopefully you guys have all felt welcome into the chat. Um, and then then like Mondi and King Lime and Mikey, I met through other ways of being with Jace. Thank you for the gifted sub to King Lime. I appreciate that, guys. Also, the other anonymous one to CB, I appreciate that as well. Um, so that is a huge positive, is finding friendships through streaming. Another big one, and this is the biggest one that I have. I've become incredibly good friends with Terrio and JD. Two people I will be honest. If I met Terry on the side of the road, and I probably wouldn't be friends with him. We are so different. He's a great
Absolutely.
guy, but he's just
Yeah.
not somebody that I would have clicked with right away. Um, and honestly, I don't even know why I even went to his stream the one day. He was playing Fortnite when I met him. So it's just one of those things. Like, and JD, I mean, he seems like a cool dude, but like he's so much younger than me and have a different lifestyle that I probably wouldn't be friends with him either. Until I met him on stream and we've connected as two of my best streaming buddies, right? The people who are also part of the community, and we've all talked and helped each other. King Lime's, I mean, I met him through LG, but I mean, he's another one. I can't tell you how many times Lime has come to me and said, "Hey, man, I need your help. I need this. I can't figure out this audio." I've been on phone calls with him. Um, you know, there we go. MikeyMcB, Jersey from King Lime stream.
Yeah, man, you gotta show it off. That's what I mean, right? Like little things.
Right.
That
So it's streaming can be a powerful tool. Um, and it can be a powerful tool, but you have to do it right. You have to be able to put in the time and network with other people. When I first started, this is the biggest advice I can give anyone who's trying to stream. When I first started, I was in everyone's chat, and not just like saying, "Hey, what's up? Come, hey, I'm streaming now," and then that, like, I made friends with them. I made friends with OG Kevin Bacon at the time, Deke Slayer. There's a guy who also streamed named Mr. Nice Guy at the time. He doesn't stream anymore. That's how I met Terry. Somebody told me to rate him one day, and again, anyone who knows me, I don't smoke weed or anything, and that's what his channel's all about. But I've grown to love his channel and like what he does, especially in the NHL community, and he's been doing very well networking himself. Um, and meeting JD was last year, and like I didn't know him until last year. He was streaming the same time I was. I was like, how is this dude successful? Let's go check him out. And after I checked him out and watched his stream and connected with him, you can really tell why he has a community that he does. Castleman's another one. Those three straight streamers, I feel it doesn't matter what they're playing, the community is there for them. So that's kind of a big deal. Altix, thanks for the follow, buddy. Another streamer you guys should go check out. But that's one of the best things mental health wise through streaming is just connecting with people, making friends that you probably wouldn't make in a normal circumstance, especially in the last year and a half, 2 years now with COVID, people stuck at home. Like this has been an outlet for me, especially because we quarantined for the longest time because my kid. Um, but it's been an outlet to talk to people like you. So again, I know there's other people in those situations, and they use streaming to talk to their couple friends, and it is an outlet, and they do make friendships. So that's one of the good positive things. Mikey, do you have another positive?
I think, like, honestly, I think I touched on most of my positives just kind of through that last rant that I went on there. Yeah, I mean, the communities, right? That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I value the most, and that's the thing I look at. And I mean, obviously, kind of networking, and I mean, if we weren't really streamers, would we be partnered with the Ducks? I don't know. Like there's a lot of things like that which I think are really cool. But yeah, I mean, definitely, I think we touched on all of those.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So we're gonna get to a different role here. Thank you for the follows, Johnny and Altix, and the host, J Master. I appreciate it. We are going to turn it over to you guys. So, in these mental health streams, this is open to anyone that wants to share. We're going to keep it to 20 minutes. I know we're running a little late because my internet is fantastic. But we're going to give it 20 minutes, and then we'll go from there. So, we did tell Tabernac that he could be the first one. Would you like to come into a Discord call with us, or would you like to just type? And if anyone would like to participate without giving out their name, please message me on Twitter, which can be found in the socials, or message me on Discord if you're not already in there. And I'll keep your name 100% out of it. We'll just talk about the subject, not necessarily saying this is you. Until we get to that, while people are loading up whatever they're doing, Johnny, just to get you an idea of what we're doing. This is okay. So, Tabrick, go ahead and type out your stuff, buddy.
But I'd like to also thank you for the follow. I just got that on my phone there, so
there we go.
Appreciate it, man.
King Lime, all right, buddy, you get to work. We'll check you out later tonight, man. Thanks for stopping by. So, Johnny, to give you a little bit of heads up what this is, every Sunday at 9:30 we do a mental health checkup stream. Then Altix here. We'll explain it to you too. Every Sunday 9:30, I bring on a different special guest every week. The first couple were kind of just random stuff that were, I talked about my past and things that I deal with personally from day to day, and it's kind of moving more into topics. So this one was actually one of the first ones where we talked about streamers and their mental health side effects, both positive and negative from streaming. I do throw this up on YouTube afterwards, so if you missed the beginning parts of it, I will throw it up probably on Tuesday, and then you can check it out from there. You could also go to the YouTube page and look at there's 3 other episodes that we put out that you can check out. There's some good stories in there. A lot of people shared their experiences, And there, if you'd like to share, this is the time for it now. So you can either type something up in the chat. If you want to keep yourself anonymous, that's perfectly fine. You can message me on Discord or Twitter. I'll keep your name out of it. We'll talk about the subject in general. We've done that too. We've had some pretty heavy stories in the first couple weeks, because the idea of the show is to show that people aren't alone. We are all dealing with something that is completely different. Some of them are pretty serious, where some of them aren't. And the idea is to show that if we can help one person today think things through, or even just someone who's watching and see that there's a situation that might be kind of like theirs, and see that someone else is struggling, then maybe they can connect and say, hey, I'm going through the same issues. This is how I've been helping. We will say, for those of you who weren't here in the beginning, every stream I start with is, we are not professionals. We're just two dudes talking about it. So we're just talking about your situation. We're not giving you professional advice. So if you think you need professional advice, I usually have numbers scrolling across here, which I forgot to turn on because I'm a fantastic streamer. So I will have those up next stream. So, and let's see. Did I forget anything? I think that's it. How this started was, I was in Crash Andrew's stream, and I give him credit. And Elk put in the quote that I'm going to bring up. I was in his stream, and I went into a middle of a conversation of him talking about his mental health. And I've also seen Timo talk about it on his channel. And then I started thinking about it. And I was just watching. I wasn't really talking much about how he realized he wasn't okay. And then I started asking questions, and it made me realize I'm not okay as I thought I was, which is what Elk just put in there. And that's when I talked to my wife about it the next night, and I realized that there isn't an outlet for people, at least in our community, that people can't go to and just express themselves. So I started this stream just on a real quick, like, I just wanted to have a place for people to talk. And it has taken off into more of like a show type thing, where people have been coming back and participating. And without crowd participation, this doesn't work. So again, I appreciate you guys, because some of this stuff is pretty sensitive material that, I mean, we've had some pretty crazy stories, to be honest. And that's really the big thing. Thank you, J-Master, for the bits. I appreciate you, buddy. It's yeah. So anyway, that's where we're at. And so I'm gonna get the Tabernacle stuff. So this seems like he has loaded in. What's up, Elk? How you doing? There's the channels. Thank you, Jace. I appreciate it, man. All right, let's see here. He says, my mental state is at the lowest right now. My dad won't stop drinking and won't listen to any of my family. I've lost 2 friends this year to alcohol poisoning, and I seriously can't lose him. I'll give you a little bit on myself, and my experiences with that. I haven't lost friends to alcohol poisoning, but I had a family member that lived in our house that was an alcoholic for a long time. And it's tough. It's real tough. I don't know if you live with them, Tamarack. But being someone around who's an alcoholic, you can't tell them that they're an alcoholic, or it just puts fuel on the fire, and it makes them angry. It makes them drink more. And it's very hard to find the time between them being responsible to enough to have an adult conversation to when they start drinking to the point you can't have that conversation. It took a long time for me to finally get the point across. It was a lot of arguing, again, which took a toll on me. It ruined our relationship for a long time. That's also why I know you've seen drinking streams on here before, but outside of that, I don't really drink that much. I bought a case of beer, a month ago. I'm still going through it. Like you'll see me drink it every once in a while, but I don't want to turn into that person. So that's what I've learned from it. I would never want to put my daughter in that situation where she struggles with that, or my wife. And I learned that at a pretty early age. So talking to them is very important. I know it's not going to go well, and I know you're probably going to get super discouraged because it is hard. It's an extremely hard conversation to have, and because they're drinking, you're going to have it more than once. Because the side effects to excessive drinking could be memory loss, and that's what my family member is going through now. To be honest with you, I've like they don't drink nearly as much. They still do a little bit, but it's more responsible now. But I can tell this person 4 or 5 times what's supposed to happen, and they don't remember, and it's very sad. Um, along with other health issues and blah blah blah. Um, but just remembering things is very hard for them. And usually stuff changes when there's a dramatic moment in life with them that makes them like click and be like, I can't do this anymore. Um, have it be somebody leaves the house or they have a serious health issue and they rush to the hospital and the doctor's like, look, you either have to stop or you're not going to make it. Something like that. And it doesn't always work for everyone, but that could be something. I mean, I'm not saying it has to happen, but that's happened to many people, um, which is pretty rough, and it's sad that it has to get to that point. But yeah, Mikey, do you have anything else you want to add? Any experiences that you've had with alcohol or drugs or anything else with friends or family members or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, Tabernacle, I can't begin to experience the type of pain that you're probably going through every single day. Um, Fortunately enough, I have never had that in my household, in my family. Um, I do have experiences with people that I know that I won't obviously bring into and expose, but I do know that you cannot change somebody. You can't. You can try, but they have to change themselves. Um, Now, believe it or not, obviously, if it's a family member of yours, they likely, like would feel obviously saddened if you're saddened and things like that. So, I mean, obviously, speaking to them about it, maybe you're gonna have to obviously come to your own decisions on how you want to handle it. And this chat can be an opportunity to kind of let a little bit of the steam out. But yeah, I mean, talking to them and just continuing to talk to them, and then maybe if you need to go further and leave or something like that, and go stay with somebody that maybe is a safer environment, that's where it obviously gets a little bit more serious. And like I said, they're gonna have to change themselves. Unfortunately, you can't take the responsibility on to try to change them. Um, and you can't let it affect your mental health to the point where you are deteriorating. You have to make sure that you stay strong for yourself, and you work through it, because like I said it earlier, they have to change themselves. You can't change them.
Right, and that brings another quote that I've told many people, not on the stream, but you can't help someone that doesn't want help.
Hmm.
And that's when I realized with this family member that I have, I had to just kind of walk away from the situation because I've tried, I've done my best and they didn't want it, and what do you do? Like, I can't beat myself up ruining my life because they're making poor choices. Now, granted, it's hard. It's extremely hard, especially with you said, I think it was your father, correct? Um, and that's real tough, man. Like, and again, I've been in that situation. And you said he's going to get his liver checked on Wednesday. So, I mean, hopefully this clicks for him. Maybe have a serious conversation right after he's done. because that's going to be the time that he's going to be coherent enough to remember what's going on. And Elk, we'll get to your stuff here in just a minute, buddy. Okay. He used to be my best friend. We used to do everything together. Now you can be right, and that's the thing. It hurts, man. It's your dad. It's a lot of a lot of dads are people's best friend, like you said. It's not the same. That's not the same person you remember growing up, and that's it. But there's a reason he got to that point, and maybe finding the source of what makes him want to drink is maybe that's the way to go. I'm not saying, again, I can't give you advice in that term, but if it were me, maybe coming down to the source of like his mom and brother's death. All right, well there you go. So you already kind of know, and maybe he even admits to it. So maybe convincing him to get professional help is the way to go with this, because he's probably incredibly sad on the inside, and it changed him, right? Events in life change people, and unfortunately it happens not always in the positive light. He obviously knows you care about him, and I'm sure if you get him to the point of having a serious conversation, and where he's good enough to really understand how you're feeling, maybe he'll break down and get to the point of saying, I need help. Because again, they have to want to have help if you're going to help them. So yeah, I'm thinking about you, buddy, because I know you've had a lot of events going on this week. With I think it was your friend who passed away. This past week too. So, he thinks the only person in my house. And he thinks that everyone else is against him. But we all want him to be healthy. See, and that's the thing with my family member. They thought they were fine and they could handle what they were doing, but they don't see around them what's actually happening. They see like this. They don't see what's back here, right? They see what's just straight ahead. They don't see all the side effects of what's happening around them. Where somebody who is coherent can figure out what's going on around them. They sense the room. They sense that people are upset with them with what they're doing. When somebody's drinking, they don't have those senses. And they don't see that they're hurting everyone around them. So when somebody's trying to help them, they look at it as like, you're just trying to tell me what to do. You don't believe in me, blah, blah, blah. Or, they feel attacked almost, right? And that, again, was the same situation that we went through with this person. They thought we were totally against everything they were doing. And they just felt attacked all the time. And until we really made the point across that it needs to change, or else you're going to lose all of us, right? Because we're done with it. And then that's when they started really changing around. So I would try to see if that's what he said. And maybe, he obviously thinks that if you care about him, you might be the one that has to talk to him. Like, you know what I mean? I know it's hard, and it's going to suck on your end, because it's going to be tough conversations that might not go very well. But you're the person that might connect with them. And that's what I would do. Again, it might not be this year, it might be next year. But, keep working at it, man. But again, don't ruin your life over somebody else's choices. I know he's your father, and I know it hurts a lot, and it's going to for a long time. But it's also, you have to be respectful of his feelings as well, right? He's going through something that you don't understand. That makes him get to that point. So I don't know. It's, again, professional help is really the only thing that is going to help this guy. And honestly, it might be good for you too, man. Talking about your your issues and what you're going through. And
Therapy, it's always a solution.
right.
Um, I know it's expensive. Unfortunately, in the world we live in, for some weird reason, we decide that therapy needs to be thousands of dollars. But at the end of the day, talking to your friends about it, like today, it's a good step for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you obviously, um, you know, it's just a nice environment for everybody. Elk, I just wanted to comment obviously on um, your message in the chat, and I could definitely see how that could be tough, especially in the world we live in today with as much financial stress as I have and as Crofto has and as everybody in this world has. It is difficult. It is very difficult to secure um, things for even myself, and I don't have a child, so I do understand where you're coming from with that. But I just want to say I'm very proud of the way that you're putting that child first, and you're it seems like you're basically living to take care of that of your child, and it's impressive to me. So I just wanted to kind of to mention that.
Yeah, Elk. You've come on the stream and talked about your your struggles in past streams, and
Mm-hmm.
again, I appreciate you doing that. We've talked about why you're in these situations, and you know that right now you're. I know it's hard, but you're doing the right thing, man. You're doing the right
Yeah,
thing because you need to put your child in a better situation, and you need to honestly improve your life too.
yeah,
Put yourself in a situation where you're not being hurt all the time. And again, being a single dad, moving out there, it's gonna be tough. But in the long, think of the long term goals. Like what's gonna happen in the next 5 years. Like you're gonna build on top of what you're doing now. Um, right. So it's one of those things, man. It's I know it stresses you every day, but it's gonna get better.
yeah.
Don't let your past struggles weigh you down. Like you took the first step of moving on. Let the process play out and try to build on top of that. Um, Again, it's going to take a long time. I know you care about this person very much, but you've obviously seen this person does not help you, and that's if you're with someone that doesn't help you in life, is it really worth it?
And
Like,
puts you down,
right.
right? Individuals that put you down in order to make themselves feel better tend to have bigger problems than you. And I just want to say, like, I'm very impressed with how you're handling it, and the reward in the future for the way that you're raising this kid. I mean, your kid is going to just be amazing. Just watching that little guy grow up,
Mhm.
he's obviously going to see I had a remarkable dad who put me first in times of need, and you know that's a relationship that you just can't build anywhere else. So to have that, Elk is going to be super special, and there's going to be troubling times. There always will, especially in that situation. But just know that like it's 100% worth it. Fighting for that little guy.
Right, and you're talking about now another situation that I can definitely feel. My kid has been fantastic. Doesn't mean there's been situations where I've been incredibly frustrated in certain situations, and my pediatrician gave us the best advice. Um, if you need a minute before you freak out or yell at them, don't yell at them. It just makes it worse. Put them down in a safe spot where you can leave for a minute. Have it be a crib or like a pack and play thing, somewhere where they can't hurt themselves, obviously, and you can walk away from a minute, take a breath, get some fresh air for a second, go back, and then handle the situation. Um, and you because you need that time. And I always thought to myself, oh, I'll never get like that. I know the baby's gonna cry, blah blah blah. I can't tell you how, like, I've been fortunate enough that my wife's been here as well, but even she, like, today had a huge breakdown today because she was by herself because I was running my hockey league, and my daughter in the beginning of the day was just not having it. Like, she was just, everything was fussy and crying. And I could tell when I called my wife, she was at that breaking point. So she puts my kid in a spot where she can't hurt herself. She walks away for a minute, takes a breath, and then she feels better. Um, it's sometimes it's hard to realize when that's happening, and you need that point before you break past that point, and it gets to the point where it makes it worse. Again, yelling, never the answer. Don't yell at the kids, because you start doing that and you keep doing it more and more, they're not going to respect yelling as a form of knowing you're serious. It's just, oh, it's dad yelling again. Excuse me. But it's hard to get babies to stop crying, honestly, because they're crying for a reason, right? They're crying because they need something and they don't know how to communicate it with you. Even at my daughter at 2 years old, she can't fully communicate with us. She can say a lot of words, but there's still some stuff like if something hurts, she can't communicate that with me, right? She doesn't know how to yet, so she gets frustrated, and then you got to think of it in their perspective, right? Why can't this person understand what I'm saying or trying to tell them, and they're trying to put a snack in my mouth? Like, I'm not hungry, my stomach hurts, and then they get more upset. And it's a lot of situations like that. Like, you just got to remember, these kids think they're communicating with you, and you don't understand what they're saying. And it's one of the greatest things I've learned over the last 2 years. It's very hard to tell someone who doesn't have kids, but when you start realizing, I've been with a human now that hasn't been able to communicate with me fully for 2 years, and I still don't know everything she's trying to tell me, but I try my best to try to figure it out. But that's why she gets frustrated, is because I can't communicate with her fully, and she doesn't know what. So it's just again, little bumps in the road, man. You've been doing good. I know you've moved, and have really tried to improve your life on top of your child's. What you're doing, you're making the right steps. Again, I know you're by yourself. The thing you said, it scares the hell out of me. Like, like I will fail, but I can't. He's all I have. It's okay to screw up, right? You're gonna make mistakes. It doesn't mean you failed. Okay, just being there for your kid. Just be there for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a tough road, man. But you're doing this for the right reasons based on the situations that we've talked about in the past, and I really hope that you pull through, man. You, like remember the long term goal. Just like I said before, remember the long term goal. Go forward with it. Remember why you're doing this, because you're gonna be better off. So I appreciate you guys coming in and sharing for sure. I don't think I've missed anyone else who brought up stuff. Long-term goal, NHL draft. There we go, buddy.
2039. Yeah, that's the year. That's the year.
All right, guys. So here's what's happening on this stream. I'm going to cut the stream because I want to cut this off for YouTube so I don't have to download all the other stuff. Yeah. I'm going to be playing some NHL on PlayStation. So if you'd like to play, just stick around. Hopefully you guys would like to hang out with me still and whatnot. I appreciate MikeyMcB coming in. I'm going to put in his Twitter page. Make sure you guys, Mikey, can you type in there for a sec?
Yeah, absolutely.
Make sure you guys go click on his name. Go follow his page. He's an awesome dude. He's been a really good friend of mine for a while now, and he's somebody that I would trust my viewers being with. So make sure you guys do that. Oh, let me spell this right. MikeyMcB2.
Yeah.
Also,
I love
give
having
his
this chat, honestly.
Right. make sure you guys go follow him on Twitter as well. But yes, I appreciate you being in. Hopefully, we can do this again sometime soon. And
Absolutely.
again, guys, I appreciate you guys being here and sharing your stories. You taking the time and listening to our topics of streaming of mental health, but positive and negative, because I had no idea how this was going to go, and it turned out to be pretty good. Next week, I will have. Actually, this week I'm going to post something on Twitter, so make sure you guys go on there. Tell me some subjects you'd like to talk about. It could be anything. It's the subjects that we can do for an hour. Because I'm starting to run out of ideas, I'll be honest, and I would like to hear what you guys would want to listen to. So make sure you guys do that. You can find me on Twitter here if you're not a part of it, and I appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully we see you guys again soon.